Greetings, YouTube. I read something recently that really resonated with me, and that is that tolerance is a social contract. That I tolerate you, who you are, and the way you live, and you tolerate who I am and how I live, as so long as those lifestyles, those ways of living, who we are, do not conflict with each other. Um, so long as we're all law-abiding citizens, how we live and how we act has got nothing to do with anybody else's business. I tolerate the fact that you may be a rampant sports fanatic that has banners pasted all over their cars and their homes, and has painted their house in a particular color scheme because you love the Miami Dolphins or something like that. That's on you. That's okay. Have fun. It's got nothing to do with me. Okay. And I have, my yard is we're allowing it to return to nature. And if there are people that don't like that, yeah, tough. It's not your yard, it's my yard. There's no reason to have a lawn. And we're not going to have a lawn. We don't have a lawn. We have a field in our yard, which is just fine by us. We like the field. We like the flowers, and we like the plants that grow there. We like the fact that now we have bunnies living in our yards. If anybody else in my neighborhood doesn't like it, tough. It's not their yard. But when someone becomes intolerant and they're public about it, not being intolerant here and thinking they're little evil thoughts. No, they've decided to publicly express their intolerance. They break that contract. And now we don't have to tolerate them anymore. And it's that simple. You have broken the social contract. And so we are no longer obligated to tolerate your bigotry. The paradox of tolerance, if you will, as it's been said, as it's been framed in the past. You cannot tolerate intolerance. And if you frame it in the concept that tolerance is a contract, where as long as we're all on the same level, everything's groovy. But as soon as somebody becomes publicly intolerant, they break that contract and they're no longer with the rest of us. You are now an outlier, and we no longer need to deal with you whatsoever. We do not have to respect you. We do not have to listen to you. We do not have to consider your argument as worthy of anything, even a second of our attention. We don't have to engage in the whole false equivalence thing. If somebody says, every human being deserves equal treatment under the law, and then somebody walks up and says, no, plaid people don't deserve that, we don't have to consider those two things to be of equal value. The person that's despising the plaid people, we can just ignore them. We don't have to listen to them. And if they try to impose that intolerance upon plaid people in their ability to work or have housing or medical access or whatever, the rest of us can say, no, you don't get to do that. You are a bigot, and you don't get to impose your bigotry upon anybody else. And we as a society don't have to listen to you, don't have to respect you. But we have gotten to a point where so many people think that every single thing is an opinion. It's not an opinion that trans rights are human rights. It's not an opinion that women are equal to men. It's not an opinion that black people shouldn't be murdered by cops. Those aren't opinions. Those are like core foundational beliefs of a functional society. That everyone be treated the same under the law. That we all deserve an equal treatment. That systems that are built to disenfranchise one group need to be torn down and rebuilt so that they don't disenfranchise anyone. And if that means the group that had been taking advantage of that disenfranchisement suddenly has to face the ugly truth that the system had been built to benefit them at the cost of somebody else, tough. Facing reality can be painful. Growth is like that. But it can also be a wonderful thing. The idea that you can shed the scales of ignorance that you can look at the world around you with clear eyes, that you can see the systems that have been hurting the people in the world around you and suddenly realize how broken they are and that they need to be torn down, they need to be replaced. That's a great thing. To suddenly see that everyone is a quote is equal, that everyone should have the same degree of civil liberties and human rights, that a minority shouldn't dictate, that men shouldn't decide what women can and can't do, that white people shouldn't get to decide what black people can and can't do, that straight people shouldn't get to decide what gay people can and can't do, or cis people decide what trans people can and can't do. Being black, being trans, being a woman, these are all valid ways of being human. And it isn't just one group that gets to declare I'm human and everybody else isn't. So when the bigots break that social contract, when they sever their connection with tolerance, the rest of us, all we got to do is kick them to the curbside.